$2,000 checks from President Donald J. Trump are finally confirmed, and these checks are official from President himself. Look at this. Is Trump giving out $2,000 stimulus checks? And his latest comments actually started a new controversy. Well, you need to understand that President Donald J. Trump recently said that he is sending these checks to Americans no matter what. Look at this. Are you getting the $2,000 Trump tariff dividend stimulus check in 2025? And we finally have the answer, and the answer is no, but it's coming in 2026. And don't forget that 2026 is arriving just few days from now. What it means a great news for millions of Americans, but there are some specifics that you need to know about these checks, but because President Donald J. Trump recently revealed the details that actually left everyone stunned. And it's indeed a great news for millions of Americans who are waiting for these $2,000 checks, but at the same time it's a shocker as well. But before I begin, all I need is just a little favor. It takes 2 seconds to please hit that like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's begin. So let's start with President Donald J. Trump's $2,000 stimulus dividend checks. First, an official announcement.
And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing.
We're going to be giving $2,000 tariff dividend checks to millions of Americans. In other words, you can call them stimulus checks as well. Millions of Americans are waiting for these checks right now in 2025. But President Donald J. Trump finally cleared there when he said that no, these checks are coming in 2026. So keep this in mind. But you also need to know that 2026 is actually just few days away. So it means a great news for millions of Americans. I'm going to tell you about it in just a moment, but look at this first. President Donald Trump pushed back on one of the biggest obstacles to plan to provide most Americans $2,000 checks from the success of tariffs. According to President Donald J. Trump, US is receiving billions and trillions of dollars, and because of these reciprocal tariffs that President Donald J. Trump placed on almost every country in the world, it's time to give Americans almost $2,000. Actually, I shouldn't say almost, exactly $2,000 stimulus checks. And if you're excited about it, let me know in the comments below. Well, Trump discussed the potential rebate in a 2-hour plus cabinet meeting on December the 2nd, during which he also called the affordability issue a Democrat scam and appeared of not of USA Today worded. But you need to understand that according to President Donald J. Trump, affordability crisis is a scam, is a hoax. There is nothing like that. Well, let me know in the comments below, do you agree with him? Because according to the recent report from Gallup, the prices of groceries are up by 21% in the past 3 years. And when it comes to the affordability crisis, if this is not affordability crisis, then I have no idea what I should call affordability crisis. At the same time, next year it's projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we are going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs as we have taken it literally trillions of dollars, Trump said early in the meeting. So what do you think about what President Donald J. Trump had to say about these checks, especially when it comes to the tax refund and income tax issue as well? Do you know that according to President Donald J. Trump, US is receiving billions and trillions of dollars, and just a couple of years from now there will be no income tax as well?
So we're going to be making a dividend to the people, and additionally we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
So according to President Donald J. Trump, just 2 to 3 years from now, there won't be any income tax to pay because we are receiving money from these reciprocal tariffs, and that's why Americans are going to feel real good because there will be no income tax. We are also going to give this dividends. He actually exactly said this. We are going to be giving a nice, yes, you heard it absolutely right, nice dividend to the people in addition to reducing that, he added in his statement. Well, you need to understand that according to President Donald Donald J. Trump, there is no affordability crisis. And the reason that President Donald J. Trump is leaning towards these $2,000 checks, or he's keen on giving these $2,000 checks to Americans, is because according to President Trump, US is receiving so much money from these tariffs. So that's why it's time to give a piece of it to millions of Americans, so they can actually see how good this administration is and how good the policies of President Donald J. Trump are. But you need to understand that on the other hand, Democrats are saying the same thing but for a different reason. According to Democrats, these Americans should get $2,000, and the reason is simple. There is an affordability crisis, inflation is all-time high, and that's why these $2,000 is something that Americans need right now. Our Democratic leader Ro Khanna actually said the same thing. He supported these $2,000 checks to Americans. At the same time, Andrew Yang, a presidential candidate from Democratic Party, he also emphasized on the fact that I support these $2,000 checks and we should give these $2,000 checks to Americans. Well, they are not the only ones. At the same time, White House also said that we back this plan 100% and we are analyzing all the legal and economic aspects to send these checks to millions of Americans.
Should U.S. Citizens expect the $2,000 proposal? Is the White House committed to making that happen?
The White House is committed to making that happen, yes.
See?
And we are currently exploring all legal options to get that done. I don't have a timeline for you or any further details, but I can confirm for you that the president made it clear he wants to make it happen. And so his team of economic advisors are looking into it. And when we have an update, we'll provide one.
The president's economic team is actually analyzing all the legal and economic aspects to send these checks to millions of Americans as soon as possible. And president is keen on making it happen. Let me know in the comments below, do you support these $2,000 stimulus or dividend checks from President Donald J. Trump? If you do, then write in the comment section, I support $2,000 checks. Again, if you support these checks, then write in the comment section, I support $2,000 checks, because remember, if you don't do anything, nothing will happen. At the same time, now let's go towards this very important update. The later comment is noteworthy because many members of Congress, including those from Trump's party, said they'd rather spend tariff revenue on decreasing the national debt than on stimulus checks. Well, you need to understand that Democratic leaders like Bernie Moreno said that we will never ever give these checks to Americans. And you must be thinking that why I'm saying this. Well, in an interview to a reporter asked that, what do you think about Americans Worker Rebate Act, which Josh Hawley, a Republican, actually proposed in Congress? And he said that means Bernie Moreno said that no, we will never let this bill pass. We have $37 trillion worth of debt. We'll pay down the debt first, then we'll think about it if we want to think about it. This is something that is clearly shocking to millions of Americans because they're looking towards President Donald J. Trump and this administration to do something for them. In these times, still around 5 million seniors receive below poverty level checks from Social Security Administration. A number of households are unable to put 3 meals a day for themselves and their loved ones, which is quite shocking, to be honest, because we live in a nation where we give billions and trillions of dollars to other nations so they can survive and thrive, where our own people, our own seniors and low-income households are struggling. SNAP rules are pretty strict right now. A number of Americans are unable to get approved for these SNAP benefits, which is actually a nutritional lifeline for millions of families. At the same time, the work rules around these SNAP benefits and as well as the Social Security benefits, means disability benefits, are also in a very strict pattern, and millions of these seniors now they have to go through this, and they are asking only one question right now. All right, you're doing everything, but what about these $2,000 checks? If you are willing to give these $2,000 checks next year, then why you're talking about these checks right now? And according to a number of analysts and experts, the reason that President Donald J. Trump is talking about these checks, and he will certainly give these checks to Americans, but it will be right before the midterm election, so he can gain, or you can say he can regain, the trust of millions of Americans. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this whole situation, and do you know that you can actually save around $1,100 when it comes to your Medicare plan? That's why I partnered with Chapter, where you can get unbiased help from a real person absolutely free. Call the number on the screen today, 212-461-4492. Again, the number is 212-461-4492, and get the help that you deserve absolutely free. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.